So, George, DJ Ease, aka Nightmares on Wax.
You got it bang on.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm fantastic actually. Enjoying every moment of the moment, which is now, which is NOW, which is Nightmares on Wax.
Perfect. Where are we?
We're at Aura in Ibiza in San Juan, a bit more north to what normally goes on in Ibiza. We're at our weekly event which is called Wax the Jam. This is our second season running, second successful season. Tonight you're going to experience the Wax the crew, including myself, also Neged from Wax on Records, and also we've got the drum warrior Shovel, and also famous jazz musician Wolfgang Hafner, one of the best drummers in the world.
Ibiza, you've been here for 5 years.
Yeah.
Why Ibiza?
I just have an affinity to the place. A lot of people say this place either sucks you in or spits you out, and I've definitely been drawn here. I moved here 100% for my family. We wanted to change the scenery after having 36 urban years of living in Leeds, England, and this was our first calling really. It just so happens that 4 or 5 months of the year, most of the electronic music industry has its eyes on Ibiza and what's happening here, so I've obviously benefited from that. It's given me a new lease of life, just living here, one as a father and as a husband, but two as a musician. Yeah, I've got a blank canvas and I'm using that to the fullest right now.
What's it like, making music in Ibiza? I always kind of think of it as, making beautiful music, kind of, uplifting music in a very warm, beautiful place. Is that actually that easy?
Well, a lot of things are squeaky clean here because you're surrounded by paradise, and it takes a while to kind of get the right balance in that, because I come from the urban culture in England, and that has definitely been a driving part of my music. So when you actually think, oh, well, I'd love to make music in the sun, sounds like a blissful, beautiful idea, which it is, but it also can affect your sound. So for me, it's good for me to dip my toe in and out of the city and feel that raw energy, and then come back here and write, because here's an amazing place to write. And I can see how that blissfulness can affect your mixing process and stuff like that, and make everything sound quite soft and sweet. I've definitely been a victim of that in trying to mix stuff down and had to take it out of the zone to listen to it. But now I think I've got that balance now. I think I've got that. So, and yeah, Ibiza does have that. It definitely does have that effect, because the energy is really different. Like when I worked in studios in England, I would always work at night, just because there was less distractions and stuff. But you'd be buzzed up from the day, however mental that day was. Here, it's just different. You know what I mean? It's just like everything is very, very pure. So that even appeals sonically when you're listening to stuff in the studio and stuff, because of the way the energy is.
You come from a hip hop foundation, but do you find yourself sort of assimilating some of that Balearic spirit in your production?
I think I always had it anyway, but I think what Balearic spirit is to me is an ingredient of soul, which is not even a genre. It's not really genre specific. It's a feeling, and I think that's what Balearic touches on. It's the spirit, it's the soul. So, and I'm a strong believer that hip hop is everything, because it sort of encompasses everything and turns it on its head and makes something out of it. And that's hip hop. That's why I'm sat here talking today. It gave me a voice. It gave me a channel to express myself. I'm still a b-boy, even though I might look like a man. I'm a b-boy.
Do you ever feel constricted by that? Do you know the framework of hip hop?
No, because I think that the framework of hip hop still exists. I just think that it's been manipulated to a point where it's not actually that anymore. It's more hip hop. It's not the same thing. Hip hop is about bravado and it is about expressing yourself, but it's not about taking it to the point of thinking that that's actually real. It's about perverting all them ideas and exaggerating all them ideas. But what I so-called hip hop is kind of made that as kind of the main point of issue, as though it really matters. It doesn't matter if you've got a big car, if you've got gold, if you've got jewellery, if you're beautiful, if you're ugly, if you've got the best this, that and the other. None of that really matters. All that matters is that you're happy. That's it. And hip hop brought happiness to me because it gave me a point to express myself in fantasizing, not to literally be wearing stuff that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah. It's not fancy dress.
No, which is what hip pop is.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean, you know, I'm not here to slag it all off, but realistically, anybody who tries to be like that, or anybody who portrays that, they're not really portraying happiness.
Well, it sounds like you've definitely got the spirit of the island. Yeah. It's good.
Brought it out in me. I'm not afraid to say it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not the person that arrived here. Definitely, I know that for a fact. I think that I was always on this journey here anyway. You know, I've just realised that and understand that invest in happiness, it has greater returns. It's not all the other things and all the accolades that you really aim for.
It's common
happiness.
sense, really, isn't it? It's kind of what you project and what you get back.
Yeah, you know, your reality is a reflection of where you are.
Yeah.
You know, just as music is, just as making an album is, I can listen back to my albums and I can hear where I was at.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can, oh yeah, that was a dark period, or yeah, that was a kind of twisted period. Oh yeah, that's when I was really smoking loads of weed. Oh yeah, that's when I was doing LSD. Oh yeah, that's when it was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is a reflection of where you're at, and that's true music, really. Do you know? So as long as you are really reflecting where you're at, and you really, and you can at least grasp a little bit of awareness in that.
Yeah.
All power to you, really.
It's living on record, isn't it? Being an artist.
It is, yeah. Do you know what I mean? But it's recording what. I think it's important to record what you really like, not what you think people will like.
Do you find it easy to complete? Do you have completion problems?
That's the art. That is the art form of making anything, is learning how to finish and not having loose ends. It's taken me a while to do that, and I've still got loads of loose ends. But, you know, it's that whole less is more kind of theory. You know, it's like, you know, you can learn all these things and all these tricks, whether it's DJing, whether that's making music, writing songs. But once you learn them all, you've got to get rid of them all, because it's the most simplest things that really work. You know, anybody can pick one of their favourite pieces of music, and I can guarantee you it's simple.
Yeah.
Their favourite lyrics, they'll be simple. It's learning how to express and do something, but be able to say so much in such a short space of time.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
You know.
So let's just have some idea of where you're at with your new album. Speaking of which, you know,
my new album, I reckon I'm probably 60% there right now. I mean, as far as getting the picture, as the picture kind of, I think an album reveals itself to you. I don't think it's the other way around. It's almost like you're chipping away at something, and then it's like, bam, oh, it's that. Do you know what I mean? And I always believe in just making a collection of tracks, and then it kind of falls into place, rather than kind of saying, oh, this is the beginning of the album, or this is... I just don't want to work like that. I want to be free. I want it to reveal itself to me, because then you're kind of tapping into the unknown.
Yeah.
You know, I always use the analogy of like a track being like a Christmas present. You know, when you're a kid, it's like you're opening it up and you don't know what you're going to get, and then it reveals itself to you. That's when I know I'm really being truthful in my art form and what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? But like you say, it's the art of finishing. You know, I'm a fussy bastard.
So are you still, is the process still, you know, sample based?
I'll always use samples, but the true art of sampling, you know, all my beats and all my snares and all my collections they're what I've created over the last 22 years.
Yeah.
Whether that's three snares blended together, whether that's three snares and a kick blended in together to make one kick drum, whatever it is, that I've created all them sounds, and I'll always tap into that. I'll still use some library sounds, but I'd like to combine them with my sounds and stuff like that. I love that form of sampling. That's the real art form of sampling for me. Yeah, anybody can make a loop and that, but to me it's about using that little snippet of inspiration from a record. That's what it's about. All musicians are inspired by musicians, so with sampling it's the same for me.
How does DJing inform your production? You know, how does DJing inform what you do as a producer? Does it inform what you do as a producer?
It definitely inspires it. I feel I've gone full circle in loads of ways in myself, in my career, and in my DJing now. You know, and I'm not just saying this to plug, but Serato has definitely helped me in that, because I'm looping on the spot. I'm blending stuff in ways that I just wouldn't normally do, but ways I'd probably be doing in the studio. So then that is having a kind of a reflection on my production as well, because I'm hearing them spaces. You know, it's all about the space of music. I'm hearing them spaces that I wasn't probably hearing before, which is then now influencing my production from more of a DJ mentality rather than a producer mentality, which is great, because that's how I started. You know, it's totally how I started. You know, I'm a music fan first and foremost, then I'm a DJ, and then I'm a musician. Do you know what I mean? So, and now I feel like I've gone like through all them steps to be this musician and producer, to come back to just, obviously I'm a music fan, but to be a DJ. Do you know what I mean? And then like now having this soundboard of doing Wax the Jam is that every week I can try a track out and then go back and tweak it. That's how I started out, but we used to try cassettes out. We used to take cassettes to our club night downbeat and play the cassette and not even tell anybody it was our track, and drop it and watch what had happened. And people would go berserk and we'd be crouched down behind the DJ box laughing because we couldn't believe people loved it. You know, I'm not laughing now, I'm just like being totally boastful about it. Yeah, this is my track. But yeah, now I'm using the whole DJ platform to inspire. It's definitely this album.
Awesome. Thanks, George.
Cool.